Yo, what's up, guys? It's your host with the most, Shenanigans, and me, Griever, as always, bringing you guys another, as you guys can tell from the thumbnail, the title, and everything else, is Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega, chapters 139 up until chapters 155. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost there. I feel like now we could probably get this discussion video wrapped up with one more video potentially. Depends on what happens after chapter 155. And then we will see, where we're at. Maybe we'll do weekly reviews. I don't know. But we're pretty close. I'd like to... we got a few things to discuss here, but I'd really like to get into those weekly reviews. So depending on what transpires between now and I think we're up to chapter 171, I believe, right now. Depending on what happens between 155 and 171 or whatever we're at by the time this video comes out, I'd like to clean that up in one video and then do the weekly reviews if I can. Depending, once again, if something happens or something like that, maybe we'll have to make it 2 more videos for whatever reason. Maybe we'll have to have a discussion about whether I do that or not. I don't know. I just feel like for some reason I'm going to say, yeah, 1 more video and we'll be caught up currently. Feel like something's going to change that. I don't know what. A hiatus maybe by the author that I'm not aware of. Something. I don't know. So anyways, that being the case, let's just jump into these chapters. Once again, I have my notes here in front of me, so if you guys have not been following along, I do the bullet point notes, things I want to talk about. I read the chapters, I reread the chapters when I make these videos, but I make bullet points. I type down bullet points of my thoughts, my feelings, just quick stuff. Sometimes I go on other tangents, that's why these videos go on an hour. And then I talk for 10 minutes like this, and then we never actually get to the discussion at all. So, is what it is. But you guys are still here. Assuming you're still here, let's jump right into it. So, my first part is, alright, right out of the gate, before we even get into that, let's get into the fact that this was the post-arc shit, right? This was post-arc stuff, and I still don't fully believe by the end of chapter 155 we are really into a next arc. I feel like this is all post-arc, which I don't mind because we have a lot of moving pieces really quickly. We're tying up loose ends. We're starting other plots. We're advancing other plots, subplots, etc. Characters where we have such a huge cast. I think, honestly, one thing Omega does do very well, unlike things like My Hero Academia or Black Clover or Fairy Tail or any of these ones that they make this huge cast, all these interesting characters, and we don't actually spend enough time with them. I think Kengan Asura did that very well, and then I think Kengan Omega, one of the things it has done right in the sequel series is handle that well. This post-arc isn't 5 chapters. It's not 8 chapters. It's 15, 20 chapters. Like, we need to see where are all these subclips going? What are all the people that are involved and connected to this shit? What's the enemy doing? What's the other people doing that we have forgotten about? What's this happening? What's that happening? They try to remember everybody. So sometimes they succeed, sometimes they don't, but I just want to say that right out of the gate. That this is basically all post-arc as far as I'm concerned after the Kengan Association versus Purgatory tournament. So I don't know if that's, Anyways, So Jean-Luc, first bullet point is Jean-Luc or Nicholas, whatever, is now crazy and not murdered by Teshishai or whatever. Great. So this motherfucker's gonna come back again in probably some very inconvenient and annoying way. Fan-fucking-tastic. Didn't like him in the first place, and now he's not been murdered. Could shiver asshole, vibration asshole not get one thing right? Anyways, so the Zai Ji loser that I hate is now facing down Cosmo and Koga's 2 masters at the same time, and their combination is hilarious. I really like that. I think we get to that a little later on in the remarks, so I might have to skip that one, but pretty much I love the fact that these two are absolutely like they work off each other. They're like comedic duo. They're like or a duet, they're like the the Blues Brothers or Simon and Garfunkel or whatever. They're like playing off of each other so fucking well. It makes the comedy fun. It makes us as fans fun. Something about those two together and taking down a common enemy in this way, and the comedic aspects that follow it. I just like it. I thought it was cool. So then we jump into the Eddie fight. Now, the Eddie fight. From what I understand, a lot of people got a problem with this fight. A lot of people are, from what I was told by a couple of people are waiting for me to reach this incident. They call it the Edward incident or the Eddie incident. I'm not sure at what point other people didn't like it. I know at what point I didn't like it, but we'll get there when we get there. All right? But we're going to go through how I felt at each stage. Okay? So, because once again, this is in order of chapters. So if you're following along with my point, sometimes I jump a little bit here and there, a little up, a little down, but generally we're following the rungs of a ladder, so to speak, when it comes to chapters. So Ryan is 3 versus 1 against Edward. But nope, here comes the original demon to play. We got Edio Kure. Let's go. So the original demon is still not down and out. Grandpa Kuru is here to stay. The Cure clan is here to stay. They are badasses. And honestly, in all honesty, I'm going to give a little bit of props to both Edward and Ryan. Now, you might ask yourself, why already at this stage? Because, number one, Ryan went out to take down Edward. Clearly is getting his ass kicked. Alright, sort of suspected that. But Edward doesn't seem to even have a scratch on him. And I'm going, okay, this is Ryan. Like, is this dude, like, is this going to be, like, the main bad by the end of the series or something? Like, and I could see it. And I'd be fine with that, honestly. Probably better than what we got. But I could see him being a final battle. Ryan gets his ass kicked, then Edward fights him again, later on in future arcs. But here, the reason that is because Edward is doing 3v1. And his other two are apparently the same idea as him. They all went through that Wu-Hei shit that Alan Wu went through. Alan was apparently the weakest of them. That's why Ryan was able to rip him in half, no problem. And I'm like, all right. So you're telling me that there's Edward, who's top dog, fair enough. But then there's 4 guys. They don't mention the question mark the other one, but there's 4 guys, including Alan, that are supposed to all be trained in the same way and all supposed to be deadly as fuck. Ryan bitch slapped this guy and getting his ass kicked, but then it's like a 3v1. So once again, the reason I raised the glass is, number one, Ryan went out there and did his shit, and is it unfair that it's 3v1? 100%. So props to Ryan, hence raise a glass to Ryan, he still keeps fighting. Props to Edward, however, for saying, is 3v1 unfair? Abso-fucking-lutely. Life's unfair. Are we playing Little League here? I'm reading between the lines here, but Edward's basically like, yeah, it is unfair. What are you going to do about it? Deal with it. Life's unfair. This whole situation is unfair. We are not nice people. Why did you think I would fight fair? Because I'm strong? No, fuck it. If I don't have to get my hands dirty, fuck it. So once again, I'm going to give a few props there to Edward on that regard, because he made a solid point as well. Made a solid case. So yeah. Moving on from that point, however, so Edward admits that Prime Edo, or Edio, I don't know how you say his name, the demon, the demon, how that he would kill him. And then Edio says, oh, no, me and my Prime, when you met me, listen, my Prime was before you were born, child. And my Prime, you would be nothing. You would be a, Tinker Toys to me, bitch. You'd be Play-Doh in my hands. So fuck you. And I'm like, all right. So the reason I like this is because, yeah. So this crazy 2v1 thing starts to make sense to me because now we have a Ryan who is exhausted, to be fair. Or the 2v1, first off, it's not Ryan and Erio at the beginning, it's that other Wu guy, but we have no recognition of him. Clearly he's not weak or anything, but we have no like basis to think that he's like a super badass in any regard necessarily. So I'm like, all right, this 2v1 is impressive, but now it's starting to make sense from a power creep and power scaling perspective. If Erio was even in his 40s or his 50s, this would probably be much different. But where he's not, I mean, I remember before the Kengan, the deciding match that made them, Matsudo and him, the original first Fang, and him the chairman of the Kengan Association, back in that Annihilation tournament decades ago, his removal, if I recall correctly, there was a scene where it's like his removal had had a time limit on it back then. So this man has survived decades later with already living on sort of a borrowed time limit sort of idea. Like his prime was before he was even the Fang. His prime was over, technically. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm good with that from a power creep, I mean, Erio is fucking old. I mean, this isn't the Breaker. This isn't One Piece. This isn't where, 70's the new 30, sort of idea. No. The old guys aren't tanking this shit the way they used to. I mean, he tanks some shit, but they don't tank it the way they used to, So, and I also love that after this, like in between this fight, because we keep cutting away from it, that Hatsumi, Sen, and Mikazuchi Rei are there. They went off and trained with the Wu Clan because they're like, yeah, we could learn some new techniques. We could be badass again. They just happened to coincide. Like they didn't plan this journey together because they never really met. They just went off. They happened in the same place. Like, all right, cool. You'd be a good sparring partner. Yeah, you too. And they're working together and stuff. That's pretty awesome, So they're working with the masters and stuff. And once again, fuck the ZG guy, Zaiji. He's just so fucking annoying at this point. Like, somebody kill him. But the back and forth between the two masters, once again, Koga's uncle and Cosmo's master, is fucking awesome. It is so good, and I love it. So yeah. Now, here's where Edward's removal, we jump back to the fight, and Edward's removal is so dummy fast fucking strong, stupid strong, that he can take down Ryan and Erio without them even being able to. It's like it's dummy strong. Like he's been beating their asses, not taking the hit without removal. Then he goes full removal, the original Wu Clan version of removal, whatever, apparently it's better, and he dominated, and I was sitting there, and I thought to myself, I said, this shit means Edward is going to be final boss, Mihawk Zoro, that kind of thing. It's the rival. It's the level he needs to overcome, the thing he needs to surpass, that hurdle, that mountain that he needs to reach, Edward was being set up that way. And I was good with it. Because they haven't even landed a good hit. And then Oma and Mutaba are about to be involved and helping to team up to kill Edward. Let's fucking go. And I'm like, all right, that maybe they'll do some damage to him or something like that. I still, with the level that removal just displayed, I said to myself, nah. Oma just came off a heavy fight. Not the best fight, but a heavy fight. Even with Oma there, I'm sitting back going, this Edward dude, he's showing some skills. And then, you guys notice I already grabbed my drink for this one because, this is where. No, that wasn't enough to go over this rant. Okay, let's go. So, here's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Poison assassin attack failed. So, Edio's dying. because he was the sacrificial pawn. And we have this great sequence where it's like, all right, cool facial expressions and crazy and blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden, wait a minute. So, but the poison attack happens and fails. Because removal, hijinks, Rakesh's palm, inverse thing, poison didn't go into the bloodstream, whatever. And the stab did a little damage, but whatever. We've seen these guys take more. So, the whole idea failed. Right? And Eddie sacrificed himself for nothing. Realistically, because that was the plan. Then all of a sudden, Ryan comes out of nowhere and hits Edward. Okay. But wait a minute. He doesn't just hit Edward. No. This man goes toe-to-toe with Edward in his removal using some ultimate demolition way of the dragon fucking fist of peak Wu Clan fucking fuckery. This man didn't use a single named attack, barely used the removal the entire time, mopped the floor with the entire Wu Clan, Kir Clan, and every other fucking clan without sweating. Ryan included. Now all of a sudden, Ryan just up and... What? Not only that, he wins. He literally kills him. He kills Edward. And with relative ease. Like Chunky Kong shit from Donkey Kong 64. Make crunch of rocks seem such a breeze. You know? Like... yeah, I understand crunching rocks being such a breeze with a dude this strong, but Edward ain't no rock. Edward was fucking Mount Everest. And Ryan's hands ain't that big to go like this. So, what just happened to the power scaling? What the fuck just happened? And I mean, granted, you could argue that it was Edio's sacrifice pawn was a double play. And he didn't think, or he bet on doubles. It's like, if I die as a sacrificial pawn, if the poison attack assassin shit doesn't work, even though I still think that this is not the case. I think that was the plan and it failed. Which, dumb plan. But as a result, the secondary plan was Ryan loses his shit. But Ryan is always batshit crazy. He always has lost his shit. He's never the calm, collected type that goes, raw! You know? He's always raw. He's always Godzilla. He's always blowing up buildings. The man never takes a nap. He's like Blackbeard. This man never sleeps. This man is constantly thinking of more ways to fucking rage out at a laundromat, for Christ's sakes. He's so goddamn bored. He rages out at the old lady who put the reds in with the whites. You know? Because he needs to rage at something. Removal, 100%. Whites, reds, separate. You know? This man is constantly dialed up to 11. So, I'm not buying the fact that we added the anger Gohan thing, fuel to the fire, you know what I mean? Like, push him to the brink. I also don't buy the idea that because Edio, the grandfather, Gramps got hurt, right? It set up him losing over his shit grand dying power-up, which is constant shonen power-up 101. Somebody dies. The classic. Let's go with the classic. Krillin, Frieza, Goku goes Super Saiyan. First time, classic. It's the original. Things happened before, but it's the pinnacle. It's what set up this era of manga. That's just a fact. The Dragon Ball transformation the first time in the Frieza saga. Death of a friend, lost his shit, kicked the shit out of the main villain. It's a classic. And it's been done. That formula has now been copied a zillion times. But that didn't happen here. Because Ryan, once again, as I've already argued, is already dialed up to 11, and I didn't see him do any of that. He had more of a reaction over seeing in the Alan Wu fight, seeing Edward Wu, his expressions, the perplexed, what? And then the crazy smile. He had more range of emotion looking and finding Edward than he did over Gramps being hit to death. So I'm not buying that it was any of the Gohan power-up, the friend dying, the family member dying and losing your shit. You know, we always had a connection. I might be the crazy one, but I loved you so much, blah, blah, blah. None of that shit. None of it. And there's no indication of it whatsoever by the end of the fight. That Ryan only was able to overcome it because he lost his shit. We didn't have the, that's my Bulma! We didn't have that. None of that Bulma shit. We didn't have any of it. No crazy, my wife got hurt, my father died, my dog left me. This is starting to sound like a bad country song. None of that shit. No old Yeller died. None of that. Ryan is not that sentimental. And it's not shown that he's sentimental. So why the fuck was he able to go toe-to-toe with Edward at this point? And then kill him? Power scaling wise, this is fuckery. Like certain things were teetering over here. This is dummy over here. Dummy. And it sucks because I like the emotional scenes after and stuff. Like, I like Ryan and I like the dynamic and I like Oma and I like everything involved. And I actually liked Edward as a villain because he was very G.I. Joe about it. So I really dislike, I liked all the build-up in this fight and I liked the fight. But then this happened and I was like, wait, what? Now I gotta bet all my things on question mark number 4, who's clearly gonna be, now that Alan and the other 2 and Edward are dead, the 5th one will be the greatest. Well, just hold on to your hats there with that one too, because the 5th one, the mysterious one that nobody knows about, probably hiding in amongst the Kengan. Nah, don't worry about it. That's not the case. Oh, shit, man. Yeah, I'm just, oh, man, this fight was something else. Something else, I tell you. So, yeah, so anyways, so he doesn't get the power up. Mutaba and Oma don't even show up. So they arrive too late. Like, Oma and Mutaba show up too late, so they don't even help out. Like, I could even buy maybe if Oma and Mutaba managed to catch him by surprise and stuff, and then Ryan went like 110% removal or something for a second, and Edio then says, like, never do that again, your body's not ready for it, like, even that, I just made that shit up on the fly, but maybe, like, what if there was beyond 100% removal, and Edio, that's what made Edio be able to win, but it also shortened him to the fact that his removal amount, and that was the whole, you can't use removal anymore, blah, 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 like, or you can only use it a limited time, like Oma used the advance because it's too dangerous or something like that. Once you go past a certain threshold, coming back from it or using that technique at all, like you used to, is very dangerous for your body. So even that I would have bought, you know, like it just didn't work. Amuta said Edward is as strong as Tiger Nico. So now I'm not supposed to believe. So Kuroki's words are now bad. Now Mutaba's, like, how many of my heroes in this manga you want to tear down? How many times am I supposed to believe? Now, who am I supposed to believe anymore? You took away the god of sex from me, and his words being legit. Then you took away the strongest character in the series, from what we understand, or arguably, Kuroki Gensai, the winner of the Annihilation Tournament. So you took away the words of 2 of my favorite characters. How are you going to hurt me next? That's all I'm asking. Like, this dude's as strong as Tiger Nico and Ryan took him down. Like, at his level. Like, what? Like, Ryan's awesome. Top 10. But Tiger Nico is supposed to be the endgame villain here. And you're telling me that Ryan took down that dude mid-arc? Like, Man. So Ryan over Tiger Nico. The fuck with that. So, anyways. I mean, like, you know what I could have bought? Like, Kuroki's still there. What if Kuroki got involved for whatever reason? You know, like I don't know how. I'm just thinking off the fly. But what if Kuroki got involved? Then I could have bought it. What if Kuroki took some shots at Edward and said, boom, 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 like, you will not end these children or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And then the kids went in for the kill or whatever. But it was Kuroki who did, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I could buy the Kuroki Weekend Edward or something. You know, like, they're just not at that level yet. They just ain't ready. So, I don't know. Anyways, so then the demon dies. The original demon dies, blah, blah, blah. Hayami is super happy about that, but we'll get to that part. Yeah. But he dies, and that's actually kind of sad. Zaiji escapes, but fuck that guy anyways. Fucking prick. And now we have one Wu left to kill. Edio dying was actually kind of sad in the end, even though the sacrificial pawn shit made sense if the assassination poison thing had worked, but they should have known it wasn't going to work because it clearly didn't work, and Ryan just randomly managed to kill him for... Don't even ask me a reason. There ain't enough letters in the alphabet to give you reasons why that didn't work, but yeah, and then so it was very sad, and then we do get a funeral later for him and stuff, and it is kind of sad because we had some good memories with that shit, you know what I mean? Like, he was a cool character and stuff, so... and we get a lot of characters' reactions to the news of his death. So, yeah. Then Hayami, who I just mentioned, is killed by Masaki. Only Reno knows, apparently, that this happened. Murders him because he's batshit crazy. Apparently, the original Meguro Masaki was also nuts and had nothing to do with his brain surgery, random plot device shit. Meguro Masaki was always fucking nuts. So that means that Masaki, who was cloned and all that shit, was always going to go nuts again. I don't think that's how cloning works, but whatever. That's what they're going with, even with the Wu-Hei technique going down the line and all that shit and turning him into Meguro Masaki. Clearly, that had a play. That clearly made him go insane as well. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. Like, that part I buy. So, well, at least now Hayami's dead, that fucker's dead and stuff. And once again, the original demon, why he's so happy that Edio is dead is because he's the one who fucked up his face. And I don't think we knew that before, so that's actually kind of cool that we get that reveal. Rei and Reno don't meet up, though. Rei and Reno don't meet up, even though they're in this stadium. And I think it was stated in a story that they will never see each other again or something like that. I find that incredibly unfortunate, realistically. I was hoping to see a reaction. I'm not saying I want necessarily they get back together. What I would like to see, I mean, that'd be sweet too if it was done well. But what I would like to see is the reaction to one or the other noticing one of them, maybe meeting up and being like, hi, that awkward shit. I something about the romantic in me wanted to see what they would do if they saw each other again, sort of idea. Maybe that's just me. But anyways, then we start the new arc with a 3-month time skip. Except we don't, but we'll get into that part as well. It's 3-month time skip, but is it? Dun dun dun. So now, within this 3-month time skip, here's what we get. Masaki, at least Koga and everyone believes that Masaki, who's gone to university and blah, 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 did murder. Nobody knows he murdered his father. Probably Reno, once again, is the only one who knows. So now I really question a lot of what Reno's doing. Because Reno knows probably, maybe not that the Wu-Hei shit is going on with Masaki, but also, like, has to know that he's batshit crazy and murdered the old man and has not said shit, and everyone else is just like he's unknown at this point, and it's like they're feeling bad for him and shit, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, where are we going with this line? Like, this subplot should have been ended. Somebody should have murdered him too. I don't know. Anyways, Koga also got his first win. He's finally in the training, and he got his first win officially, so that's pretty cool and stuff like that. And then we get Setsuna and Ryuki are on the villain path at this point, I guess. They meet up again and they're like, yes, let us go cleanse the world. All right, you know, and stuff like that. It's like, oh, for God's sakes. And now the last Wu brother was the brother of Edward, called Howard, I believe. And he was apparently the fifth one, the one that we were looking for with the question mark. And I'm like, all right. And now he's up against the son of Edward. I was like, wait, Edward had a son? Okay, cool. So now they're fighting for supremacy on who's going to take over the Wu faction, the Westward faction or whatever. But now he's apparently not a son, but he's a clone. So are we doing like Jango Fett, Boba Fett shit here? Is that where we're going with this? Maybe? Like the whole, you're a clone of me, but you're younger than me, so I'm going to raise you like a son, even though you're a clone of me. And he kills his uncle. Apparently mid-diff, not low-diff necessarily, because a lot of them died, but it seemed to be sort of low to mid-diff. So apparently so now we still, at the end of the day, we still only have one Wu leader to deal with. But realistically, why did we need this? Why did we need this scene? Like, you could have told us it was the son or the uncle, one or the other. We didn't need to know that there was both of them and then one killed the other. We knew there were 5 of them. Alan was dead. The 2 shitty asses that were with Edward were dead. Edward's dead. There's 1 left. 1 motherfucker left. So with 1 guy left, why did we need to know that 1 guy was fought over by actually 2 guys? So there was more than 1 guy. It's just 2 guys. But one was Wu-He and the other one wasn't Wu-He'd. So it doesn't count. And now, but the Wu-He guy died and now it's still the 5th one. Like, it just feels like overly complicated and unnecessary. I'm not saying it's bad necessarily, but it feels unnecessary. Like, you could have went with Howard. Like, if you had told us that the clone son was in charge later, we didn't even need the scene yet. Like, whenever this guy shows up in the story again, saying, I'm the leader of the Westward faction, the last of the 5, I wouldn't have cared whether he was the brother, the uncle, the nephew twice removed. It wouldn't have mattered. So this scene just felt like the sake of a scene. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It was a cool scene, and it's like, all right, we're delving into some history here, but it just felt unnecessary. And now we have some connector guys. So now we have vessels and the ones and the connectors. Oh my, you know. All right, so now we got some connector guy. Maybe he'll be cool. Who knows? And then, wait a minute. So all that covered, you guys knew I was waiting for this. There's a 3-month time skip. And then right on top of that, a few chapters later, a 2-year time skip. Let's go. 2. Why? Why do that? You could have summarized all this, 3 pages, flashback-esque panels, and said, a lot has happened in the past 2 years since the end of the Kengan Association versus Purgatory. In fact, there was, I got my first win. And Misaki is still reeling from the death of his father, but he seems to be in a cheery mood. I have been talking to Ryuka on a friendly basis, and in this, you show these scenes like him walking away with Setsuna and Koga not being the wiser. I heard some crazy stuff going down with the Wu clan in the West, but I'm not really sure what it was. Boom, 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 you show that scene if you want to show that scene. And we have other unknown factors. But hey, now, see how I summarized everything that we just talked about, even though I talked about it for 5-6 minutes. Everything I talked about could have been summarized with 3 to 5 pages. I argue I could do it in 3, and you miss no information and don't miss out on a thing. But let's give you 5. In 5 pages, you could have solved this 3 months time skip and then moved on and made it part of the 2-year time skip. You put 2 years later, you say a lot has happened in the last 2 years, especially right after. Then you say especially right after the Kengan thing. Of course, we held a funeral for Edio and blah, 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 and a lot of people there, blah, blah, blah. So that's your first page. Then your second page, you do the I got my first win, and I'm still keeping close with Ryuka and Masaki. However, Masaki seems to be in good spirits despite the fact, blah, blah, blah. And Ryuki, sometimes still can't get a read on him, but I'm sure he's doing okay. Then you show the scene with him going away with Setsuna. Then you do the woo thing. Done. You've shown all the relevant pieces. And honestly, the connector scene is irrelevant because I've read up to 155. You could still introduce the connector at the next time we see him. We didn't need this scene. We really didn't. It's sort of irrelevant. Maybe that's just me. But anyways, point of the matter is 3 years time skip, now a 2 years time skip. Like, I don't mind the fact that this happened, but once again, wasting chapters and pages that could have been summarized. Like, and this isn't like crunch time or fast pacing. This is just, why don't we just compartmentalize the information that we want to share where we're in post-arc time so we can move on to the good shit. Like, it feels stretched out unnecessarily, and then you get post-arc, time skip, on top of time skip, and then the real shit? What do you guys think? I don't know. Now, I'm fine with the 2-year time skip because it makes sense that at this point, because we see the Worm is now an officially recognized terrorist group, they're blowing up major crowds in major cities like Italy and stuff like that. So I'm firmly behind, and later on we see that they defaced the Statue of Liberty and all this stuff, and people get together later, this anti-Worm Alliance stuff. But the idea here is that we didn't need, once again, that 3-month thing could have been compartmentalized into maybe a chapter at most, and then, but we could have started it off with the 2-year stuff and still gotten all this information a lot quicker, I feel. Like, we didn't need to see the 10 pages of the Masaki and Koga meeting up shit. We didn't need that. I don't think we did. Anyways, maybe that's just me. And maybe had we gotten that, I wouldn't feel, I don't know. Anyways, fact of the matter is that now we, with the 2 years thing, we have, of course, a lot of catching up to do. We have Kuroku versus Koga in their first rematch in a long time, and Koga automatically, of course, wins. He said he'd catch up to people in a year, all that bullshit, and now, which I still believe is bullshit. I don't think Koga's ever going to be almost equal. It'll be a Joey Wheeler, Yami Yugi thing. You know? To me, that's how it's going to feel. It's always going to feel that way to me. Even if he gets, like, super good, he might get one win, but it'll be, like, that weird win where people are going to argue back and forth at home through the match or something like that. Like, I just don't ever see it. But the fact of the matter is that after 2 years, of course, Koga got a lot better. He apparently was playing in both Kengan and Purgatory and has a great record. And now, of course, he won. And he's, of course, the term, I've said of course a lot, the term supernovas. Used in so many fighting mangas, used in so much shonen battle. Supernova, it just sounds cool as a title. So we have the supernovas now. And these supernovas, there's only 5 of them. 5 of them. I'm not going to go down every description. I'm going to tell you right now. Leonardo Silva. Silva is my guy. Silva, I can't wait to see what this man can do. Even though I'm not a fan of judo, jiu-jitsu grappling styles, the throwing and the grappling, ground grappling and stuff. I like Cosmo and stuff, but that would not be my preferred fighting style. I prefer all-rounders. I prefer fists, kicks, kickboxing, that kind of shit, Muay Thai. I prefer all those styles. I personally, if I had to choose a fighting style, ground grappling would be way low. Like, I think I'd sooner become a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not for me. I'm not saying it's not effective. I'm not saying it's not a great style. But ironically, he's still my favorite out of the new guys. I also like the Buddhist, the monk-looking dude. But yeah, right out of the gate, with the one panel to show for it, Leonardo Silva, my fucking guy. I'm putting the money on him right now before I've seen anything else. Because up to 155, One panel, that's it. We just know he's the new generation. He's the new up-and-coming guy. Cool. All right. So we got 5 supernovas. Now, after this, we see that Ryuki, Akoya, and Setsuna are all working together. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So we saw Ryuki walk off with Setsuna at 3 months. And now, 2 years later, they're working with Akoya to execute justice. Goku Sentai, Goku Sentai, you know, that kind of shit. So they basically become a 3-man Power Rangers went evil team. Except, wait for this one, they're hunting the worm. Let me wrap my brain around that one for a second. Alcohol required. So this means they're actually being... When Setsuna said, let's help fix the world, he was legit. Because as far as I'm concerned, the worm are terrorists. They are Nazi equivalents. They are bad people. And I'm not such a saint that I'm like, killing someone is never right, and don't generalize, and don't do this. Fuck that shit. Kill all the Nazis, right? In certain instances, you have to say, kill all the Taliban, kill all the Nazis, kill all ABC. You know what I'm saying? So in this particular instance, kill all the worms. I have no reason to believe that killing all the worms is not a good idea. And these 3 have become like a dark horse good guy team? Like an anti-hero team? I guess anti-hero is the best term. They haven't become good guys, but they've sort of become anti-heroes rather than villains. Interesting idea. I didn't think I would like the Setsuna Ryuki thing as much, and I'm still questioning it. But with Akoya joining the group and the fact that they're hunting down the worm, I'm sort of like, okay, different than what I thought, and I'm not displeased because I'm curious where it's going to go. I still don't like Ryuki as a character, but his role in the story and the entirety of his character development and arc or storyline has definitely been intriguing and never boring. So even though I don't like his personality or his character that much, I can't deny that seeing where it's going to go is not a bad thing either. So, yeah. Honestly, way different than what I expected, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I'd like to argue this with some people. You know what I mean? Like, because if people don't think this is good, because I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty good, and I'm curious where it's going to go. Especially since he's clearly hiding it from Koga. They're hiding it. They're hiding the team up. Ryuki, after 2 years, still hiding the team up. Apparently not working in the Kengan, not willing to go back to fighting, but still fighting in the background, in the shadows. It's like, okay, interesting. Still wearing the glasses that Koga bought him, you know? Like, that's cool. That's cool. Or that, you know. So anyways, so, and this also means less work for the boys, you know? Like, they're killing the worms off left, right, and center. And Lu Tian is alive, and I'm sitting there like, but why? Did we need to know this dude's alive? And here's the other problem I have with Lu Tian being alive. The 3 demon fist and all that shit, and he was part of the worm, and he fought against Agito, or I'm pretty sure that's who he fought, right? He fought Agi. Who did he fight? Yeah, he fought Agito, didn't he? He used Formless. Pretty sure that too. Anyways, going off that assumption, so this might be totally out to lunch because maybe I'm misremembering. No, he totally fought him. Anyways, my point when saying that is Akoya ended up beating this guy. Okay? And I have no reason to believe that he wasn't at full strength, both of them going in there. Because removal was used, all that crazy shit, and he was using Formless. It was a hard win, but Akoya killed him. Won. Beat him. The dude that Agito did not win low diff against. Let's be real. You can argue some mid diff, and I'm not going to argue it was extreme high diff or anything. But Kano Agito fought hard to beat him. And Akoya killed him. So Akoya beat a dude that Agito had to seriously fight and take damage. And I'm not saying that this isn't a plot point, but this is a bad way to make this plot point. It's that Setsuna then says, "You're not looking your best," you know, like what the fuck is this? And like, you're kind of pathetic right now. Like, you're not impressive at all. And then Akoya is doubting himself. Am I getting weaker? Is it time for Ryuki to take over my position? Like, what is going on here? Like, I'm losing my edge. And I'm sitting back going, because Akoya did not low diff a dude, that Kano motherfucking Agito, bare minimum you could argue mid diff, not low diffed, mid diffed, arguably high diff. We're in that range between mid diff and high diff where that fight went. Akoya, toe-to-toe with the dude that pushed Agito to that, won high diff, and we're calling it an L? Like what's with all the L's on this dude's forehead? There's no L. There's no L. He beat a dude. I'd like to see Ryuki take this dude down. You guys think it's so easy? Fucking take him on yourself. I'm not saying Setsuna couldn't beat him. Probably could. But you're telling me that Ryuki could beat a dude that pushed Agito to mid to high diff? Because Agito's going to destroy all three of them, by the way. Agito is going to mid diff, high diff Setsuna, mid diff Akoya, and Ryuki. That's just a fact. Okay? Agito going to destroy these motherfuckers. So, why is this an L? I don't get why everyone's perception is an L. That's weird. Is that not weird? Am I missing something? I don't know. Anyways, moving on to the next point. Alright guys, I know it's been a long discussion, but we're at the tail end. I promise you, we're at the tail end here. But there's just a lot to talk about in this post shit, you know what I mean? I mean, One Piece does it. It's like 6 chapters of post in between arcs, and people make like 17 discussion videos on it that are 20 minutes long a piece. People make entire podcasts 4 hours long discussing one chapter. Like, so I think I'm doing pretty good. I know these are long and long-winded, and I go on tangents and opinions and analogies, but realistically, I think I'm holding pretty good, covering as much shit as I am. You know what I mean? So anyways, but moving on to the last few points here, because we're on the last page of points. Trust me, we're on the last page, because I can see the end here. So yeah, so the government and the mafias of the world are teaming up, and because fuck the worm, awesome. I'm good for that. I like that no half measures approach. Good for the world government, or some of the world government to come together. Good for them to say, hey, all of you, we're teaming up with the mafia, we're teaming up with the mob, the Yakuza, everybody, cartels, everybody. We're kidding everybody over here because fuck these worms. Let's destroy them from the inside out. Let's get rid of these fuckers because they're causing everybody problems. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then we get this whole Zan Yen is the brother and head of the worm of Zai Ji. So I hate both of them right off the bat. I don't like either one of them. Let's be honest. He also has my instant dislike. Fuck this child looking, thinking he's strong motherfucker. Okay? Fuck this guy. He's pretending he's this blonde-haired, Japanese, Chinese-looking motherfucker dressed like he's some type of prince from some Middle Eastern country. You're not the Arabian Night. What the fuck? So, fuck this guy. The cool guy does show up, however. The Connector. Reminding me a lot of Oma. Maybe he's the clone? Like, I sort of see it, but technically the styles are so similar. With the style being so similar and a lot of faces being similar, I'm sure that might be a theory, but the Shen Wulong is the Connector. He's very cool. He's got a ponytail. Instant respect right there. And I like his personality. I like his, his mannerisms and stuff. Kind of cool. Like, no. This fishing pole, no. Give me yours. No, that's not going to work. No. Mine, this is better. This is why I'm not catching any fish. Like, I like his attitude. I'm here for it. So, yeah. So, I like this guy. I'm hoping to see more of him. I'm hoping that he's not a disappointment like Roland. When we'll get to Roland Donaire. Trust me. We'll get to him. But Shen Wulong is quite cool so far. So I like him at least. And Yan and Ji are brothers, but fuck them. Fuck the pair of them. Hate them both. Don't care what happens to them. Hope they both die. Apparently, and also within this conversation, the worm doesn't want to exist for the Connector. What? So why did the terror? I'm confused. I'm hoping all these questions will be answered. But there's a lot of shit going on with this worm shit. They want to cease to exist for the sake of the Connector. I don't know what's going on. This is feeling a little convoluted, sort of like the Breaker New Waves was doing. It's like the Miriam wants to exist, but doesn't want to exist. And there's other forces that want to exist. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? I don't know. And the government gets involved, and Christ knows. But yeah, so, and also, Ji is apparently a dragon who should have been born a rat or some shit and actually strong. Like, wait, what? So he's actually strong according to the Connector, and there's all this shit. So, alright. So, here's the last big point that I have a problem with. Alright, so strap in. Thank God this is near beer because I'd be half loaded by the time I was making this video. All the drinking you have to do to get through some of these tangents. Trust me. I hope you guys have a drink in your hand listening to me because, trust me, you need a little bit of alcohol to get where I'm coming from. But okay. Let's jump into the last tangent and then we'll finish off the last 6 points. So, Roland Donaire. Roland, Donaire spit. Roland, Donaire spit. Roland, Donaire spit. Okay, that's still not funny. I'm gonna keep doing it. Agito and Roland are both helping Koga train. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Oma helping train Koga makes sense. Even a couple of spar matches with Ryan, even. Where the fuck? Agito alone is weird. Like 15% chance of pickpocketing level of that happening, right? And it happens, and you're like, oh, cool, got that gold sapphire ring. I'm using Skyrim analogies, guys. But it's a low chance. But, I mean, he was up there, he was talking with Agito a little bit, and maybe he's like, all right, kid. And maybe if he begged him, he's like, all right, I can give you a few pointers. But they seem gladly trying to train him. Agito's not treating this like it's like a chore. So, what's the connection here? And I'm asking legit. Like, maybe this is answered in the next 20 chapters from here. You know, we have like less than 20 from here, from where we're at, from where I end this video, to the current state of the series. Clearly this hasn't been answered, or it has, but we have less than 20 chapters to answer me this. Agito has, like, no reason to help Koga. None. Like, him and Oma should be working together to track down Tiger Nico, train together to get, like he was training with Ryan. Now Oma should be training against Agito. Agito and Oma should be training for these past 2 years. Maybe they have been, maybe they haven't been, I don't know yet. But they should be training. They should be wandering. Oma and Agito left 6 months ago, and we don't know where they went, but they went on a journey saying we need to hunt that man down or something. What happened to hunting down Tiger Nico? 2 years have gone by, like, but he's wasting his time training Koga, in my opinion, wasting his time. And he had no reason to help Koga in the first place. Now, granted, Yamagohan or Oma could have petitioned Agito. That's the only reason I can see. But then you add Roland in here, and that shoots out the window because it makes no fucking sense. Why would Roland help anybody from Kengan? Why would he help anybody? Why would he talk to them? Why would he talk to them? At all. Like, we're missing things here. Like, look, they spent those, 6 chapters doing that 3-month time skip bullshit that I proved could be condensed in like 5 pages. And still get all the information. But then we get the 2-year time skip. We're up to this point, but we skip how the fuck, and it's never answered. How the fuck did Agito and Roland agree to work together and agree to train Koga, who they don't fucking know or owe a goddamn thing to? Why? Koga is literally, and by the way, Roland's haircut's new haircut? Nah. Old haircut, Roland, way better. But Koga is literally walking up and being trained by the champions of the Kengan and Purgatory. Like, once again, no Kuroki Gensai, no Oma beat him, blah, blah, blah. But 2 of the champions of the 2 leagues of the 2 series being trained by them out of the blue. I know 2 years have gone by, but give me context as to how that happened. And it's not answered. We go into another plot. We follow Zaiji and his bullshit. So, what? Like, what's next? What's next for Koga? Koga needs to catch up to Oma and the others and needs to be considered a real threat so goddamn bad that they need to make... Okay, Agito... So, the kings of the two underground martial art things need to be his trainers. That needs to be established. By the way... Kuroki Gensai shows up, revives Tokita Nico, and they, so 4 masters, 4 of the greatest fighters, they all train Koga. And they train him in the next 6 months. He brings him back from the dead with the super Devil Lance revival technique, and Tokita Nico is now there to train Koga because plot. We need Koga to be strong. We need to establish that he's strong by showing this one bullshit scene so that we know, okay, Koga's not to be messed with. Like, why isn't it good enough to believe that he just continued to train with Cosmo's master is a top-level fighter. Seki Abashi is a top-level fighter. These guys are top-level fighters. So why do I need to believe... And so is his uncle. So why do we need to show this? We already established when he came back that he's considered one of the 5 supernovas. He's super strong. He trained in Purgatory for a while. He also trained in Kengan for a while. He's good to go. He's awesome. We don't need to see that he's training the fist eye with Agito and Roland combined. That is overkill on a stupid level basis. That's dumb. Like, really dumb. It comes out of nowhere. This comes about as far as Goku during the Namek saga. Beerus and Whis come down and train Goku and Vegeta during the Frieza saga. Come out of nowhere. Boom! You're training with us, bitch. Who are you? Because they don't know each other at all. It's like... And once again, why would Beerus and Whis come and train Goku and Vegeta in the Frieza saga? No reason to do that. Because there wasn't a reason to do that. At any point in Dragon Ball Z, there was no reason for Beerus or Whis to train Goku or Vegeta. That reason was established in Battle of Gods after Dragon Ball Z. There's no reason for Agito or Roland to train Koga. And now they're acting like masters, like retired people. Because they even say, like they both volunteered to do this. Why? Why did they volunteer to do this? And who contacted them? Let's assume it was Yamagoan for a moment. Well, how did he get in touch with Roland, and why would Roland agree to anything? Hey, you know, I'm the guy, that one guy who was heading the fighters roster that beat you. By the way, can you come by and just help me train a kid? Fuck you, click, is what should have happened. Like, what? Like, this is just a way, once again, going back to the point, this is just a way to make Koga be really strong without any of the showing of it, but oh, he was trained by the Fang, and he was trained by the champion, or the king of the purgatory and stuff, so now it makes sense. All this was an example, a perfect example of lazy writing. It's a way to showcase a stupid jump in the power creep for our character Koga, because we spent all the time on the tournament, and now we need to show 2-year time skip wasn't enough. Now we need to show, oh, trust me. He's done more than just do push-ups and sit-ups and drink plenty of juice. No. This man was trained by 2 of the top fighters, guys that everyone argues are in the top 5, top 10 in the series. Yeah. Koga's been being trained by them. So Koga's still the main character of this new series. Trust me, Koga's still the main character. It's not Oma. You know, it seems like they're trying, like, it feels lazy writing. They're trying so hard to tell us, Koga is super fucking strong, man. He's still the MC. Like, they're shoving it down our throats, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion. This makes no fucking sense. One of the worst things I have read in Kengan Omega. One of the worst things. I'm hoping to ignore it. So that was my rant. Let's move on to the last part, which is only 3 points, and then we'll end the video. Trust me. Now that we're done with that last shitty-ass part, apparently they're all fighting to go, like, everyone, like the Medicine Man, and Yamagohan was sort of bait, I guess, in a way, but not probably unknowingly, but Ryo's there, and Naba's there, and everybody's there trying to capture Ryuki and Akoya. I'm sure they're not working with them, but they're there to capture Zia Ji, right? But he's actually strong. What is happening? We don't know, but it's a Superman syndrome. It's explained as Superman syndrome. Honestly, I don't mind this. This actually makes a lot of sense. So this is why we're ending it on this point. Before I read any further, because I hate Zia Ji, but at the very least, I wanted to end this video on a high point, so I stopped here at chapter 155. I felt like I could get a little further in this video, but this video's gone with enough tangents, so it's fine to end it here. Fact of the matter is, Superman syndrome. In a world filled with all these martial artists, with all this crazy shit, all the underground fighters, the strongest of the strong, the best of the best, Waka's the only one with Superman syndrome ever. It's got a name before Waka. It's explained in that short. So, I like the idea that, yeah, of course there'd be a few more people with Superman syndrome in this world, found in this world. And I also like the idea that Waka is, the reason Waka's so good and so respected is because he's like what you'd want Superman or think Superman syndrome would be. But Superman syndrome also has tears, you know? It's not built, they're not all built equal, just like every individual is not built equal. If you take 2 gorgeous fucking people, right, like drop dead gorgeous, and they make 7 babies, are they all going to be drop dead gorgeous models? I'm sure some of them will be, but the gene pool is not perfect. Sometimes shit goes wrong, you know? You have 2 blue-eyed parents and they don't make a blue-eyed baby, doesn't mean anybody cheated. It's just the genes are not perfect. They don't work that way, you know? So I like the idea of the Superman syndrome having a spectrum. And I also like the idea that we're not trying to like power creep or power overcompensate by introducing that Zaiji and the head of the worm, his brother Yan or whatever his name is, are both they're as strong as Waka, or even Waka is 8th degree. These guys are the 11th, or something like that. It's like, no, they actually got the shit out of that gene pool. Waka is the living embodiment of the maximum Superman syndrome. These guys are on the weaker side of it. They're on the lower spectrum. They have Superman syndrome or superhuman syndrome, but they don't. But it's like it's the first level, second level at best. If there's 10 levels, it's level 1. Still there, still considered, but that's it. So I like that, the small case idea. I actually like that. And now he's also, here's where I draw the line. Now he's supposedly stupidly good at martial arts as well. He's actually a bit of a genius. So, wait. This coward who's been getting his ass kicked, running around mid-dift, fucked all over, has Superman syndrome. Good enough Superman syndrome. Like, to be viable, but it's like, okay, he's got Superman syndrome, but he's a coward and he's never trained. No, he's got Superman syndrome, really fucking good at martial arts, and still sucks. Why? I don't get it. But anyways, we're gonna find out, because at the end of 155, Oma is on the case. Detective Oma is here, so I guess we'll have to see what happens, right? So sorry to leave it on a little bit of a cliffhanger like that, but I feel like I'm not sure, but I feel like this is like the end of post arc when we deal with Zaiji, and we're gonna move on to the new arc. So I was a little hesitant to like try to condense like this hour video and make it an hour and a half and catch up, but I felt like maybe it won't be an hour and a half video. Maybe it will, like, I'll end up trying to do it all at once and it'll be like, no, it's too much or something like that. So anyways, I thought 155, good ending point. We'll end off the Zaiji. Hopefully he gets his ass, hopefully he dies or something. Like, I hate this guy. He'll probably be saved by the worm or some shit, but they're all trying to capture him from the Kengan Association. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Ryuki and Koga will confront each other at this point, because Ryuki tried to capture him, got his ass kicked in the gut. So maybe there's a lot of predictions here. There's a lot of predictions, but we're caught up to chapter 155. There's only up to chapter 171, I believe, as I said, currently out. Might be 172. I don't know. Is the last one? Yeah, maybe. So anyways, fact of the matter is that I don't really keep up with the chapter releases, guys, so it could be a chapter less, a chapter more than what I'm saying. I'm just spitballing here. But anyways, fact of the matter is, this is a discussion. This was the video. What do you guys think? I know I rambled on a lot. I did a lot of tangents. But now we're covered. And I'm recording this video as early as I can. So unlike the last video, I can do a little bit of editing, as in images and that kind of stuff, and do some little fun images or jokes or whatever in between, because I like to do that. And the long discussion, it makes them, I think, a lot funner, more visually stimulating. But then rather than just listening to my voice, otherwise I wouldn't do a video. I'd just record it, right? So if I'm not waving my arms in the air, showing you guys pictures or videos or images or memes, could just do this on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? So, so I hope to have enough time to edit this video where it's not such a long wait between the two videos. And the last video just came out this week, so I'm hoping to get this video out the following week. No promises, but you guys won't know what I'm saying right now until the video comes out. So, but anyways, rambled on long enough. Like, comment, subscribe, drink responsibly as always. We'll see you guys back here next time for I hope to be the last Kengan discussion video, and then we move on to weekly reviews. But no promises with that one either. We might have 2 videos left. I don't know. I feel like we can cover 156 up to whatever chapter it is. But But who knows what happens in the new arc? There might be different things to discuss. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya.